The news is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Cyril B. Ramney Tertola Pier Park, NV Salon Spa Nail and Barbershop, the Wellness Center, Medical and Behavioral Health Clinics, Tittle Cross Deliciously Smooth Cider, HOV Medical and Digicel, simply more speed, reliability and entertainment. Girls are being drugged at schools, boys attending school armed, and the street guys sends a message to mothers: put a casket in your living room for your sons. The Virgin Islands is in trouble as a generation of young people have lost their hearts. This is according to head of male mentoring anointed leaders everywhere, Mr. Anderson Tittle.
A lot of our young men, we have lost some of them, and if you ask me, I will say up front, we have lost a generation. And it's up to us now to rebuild and rebuild from the core. I'm saying to us, let us get behind the people who are in the trend and help them, because we are in trouble here in the BVI if we don't, and there's no time for us to deny it. Our generation, the younger generation, they have lost their heart for empathy. There's no heart. There's no heart, and that's my problem. You look in their eyes and their very soul, there's no soul. They will look in your eyes and they will tell you, you're out. And that means you're out.
Mr. Tittle was addressing the Rotary Club of Tertola on February 23, 2023, when he shared bluntly the realities of the situation in the schools.
We may also have launched what we call at the high school, the venting room, where every Friday at 3:40, I will go into a room and the boys, young ladies, they will come in and we will have our little session where they will release some of their little stress or talk about it. And you get to hear stuff and it makes you feel like, where are we heading? Because mom is not concerned anymore. And it gets dangerous when you receive a phone call and say, Mr. Tittle, you got to come and bail me because my mom says she's not coming. My dad is not coming. And I have to say to him, sit there for one more day. It won't kill you, but then I'll show up because I don't want him to stay there. It is serious. I've never seen so much brass knuckle in all my life. I asked the principal responsible for that department, this is not a school. This is the police department. They're brass knuckles. You're talking about in a classroom where you have all kind of weapon. These brass knuckles have knife on them. And I said to them early on when the designing of the high school, and I said, how can you build a high school and you don't have a metal detector at the gate? And they said to me, Mr. Tittle, our children, we're not criminals. Why are you going to put But now they're seeing how important it is to have that because they're children who are walking in the schools. And they're walking in the schools with all these weapons. We have children who are on suspension for a month and a half. I'm saying, I wish someone in here can get the idea and come up, because the thing about it, unless I decide to engage those boys and find something to do. I have 2 gardens where I plant some banana and some stuff, so every now and then I get them in the garden and get them working. These boys have been suspended and they are home, they're not doing anything, which means it gives them the opportunity to create more war. If I say to a young man, I will give you $100 to work in the garden this Saturday, he laughed at me. He laughed at me. $100, he laughed at me. I can get on my scooter and make more than that. And don't ask me how. Because I can't afford to pay him $500. I can't afford to pay him $1,000, but there are people who are willing to pay him $1,000. Now he's going to be loyal to them because they have more money than me.
That's in the schools. What about the streets?
Male decide that we are going to launch what we call a peace treaty because of all that is happening among us. And I had my first meeting 2 weeks ago with some guys from the east, some from the west, some from up the hill. And we sat and I began to engage in some conversation with them. And one of the guys said to me without any kind of apology, it's too late. It's too late. And he continued by saying, the street will have to clean itself. And I asked, well, what does that mean? It means that I'm not safe anymore? He said, no, you don't have to worry. We know who we are looking for, and we have professionals looking for them. So what are we supposed to do now? This was my next question. He said, Mr. Tittle, do me a favor. Ask all the mothers who know that they have their son and they're involved in illegal or activities that is not wholesome to get a casket and put it in their living room. That's when it became very scary for me, and I realized that we are on a real dangerous path.
It's not only the young men at risk, but young women as well.
We're having the problem where a lot of these girls, they love the thug boys. They love the rough boys. They will go for the guys who are the rough and the rugged because they like to be on the bikes, they like to look good. But one of the saddest things that I saw last month, which really, well, it literally tore my heart apart, where this young lady, they have in the school where they have the edibles. The edibles, for those of you who don't know, is cookies, but the cookies are laced with marijuana. Now they're mixing it with a little bit of the coke. We have students, girls, who are taking off their underwear and they're swinging it. This is the stage we are at because they're so high, they're not even conscious of what they're doing. So that's one of the problems we're having, and that's why my wife decided, hey, I got to reach these girls.
Mr. Tittle finds himself putting his life on the line, but has no challenge doing so because he was once one of the boys.
And I probably might get myself in trouble, but it's peace. I already said to my mom, I already said to my son, I've given enough trouble. It's time for me to redeem myself and do some good things. So if it means that I will lose my life and get into a zone where it's dangerous, this is my call. This is what I've signed up for. And I love it and I enjoy doing it. The principal in my school home asked me not to come back to their school because I will go to school with my machete in my bag as my pen. So I was one of the boys who they listed as no good, who will never amount to anything. My mom will often say to me, why I didn't drink that thing that they gave me to get rid of you. They told me I would not live to see 20. I came to Tortola. It was beautiful because you guys used to leave your house open. I used to live in the gut, and I just continue being a nice boy that I used to be at home.
Now, Mr. Tittle is part of a movement with the Rotary family exploring a universal approach in dealing with these issues.
We know that where you choose to bank matters, and it is your vote on what your funds do in strengthening our community. As your official Bank of Paradise, we invest and support the lifeblood of our economy by helping in the realization of personal goals for homeownership, education, and entrepreneurial visions, which support small businesses. We make it our place to connect with persons and worthy causes, and we have been doing so for more than 30 years. Where your money goes and what your dollars empower are your choice. And we thank you for choosing us, a bank that gives where it matters the most, for you, for our community, and a happier tomorrow. The National Bank of the Virgin Islands.
Everyone looks to the future, but no one truly knows what the future holds.
The number of people under the age of 20 with type 2 diabetes could increase by 49% by 2050. Let it be known that we all have a 30% chance of developing hypertension.
Globally, more than 300 million people of all ages suffer from depression.
More than 60,000 young adults aged 20 to 39 are diagnosed with cancer each year. Obesity leads to problems such as stroke, heart disease, and kidney failure.
No matter your race, age, or color, we are all at risk.
These diseases can be managed or prevented if caught early.
But with the right medicine and the right doctors to keep us on a path to live a robust and healthy life,
we will live well.
There are many ways to enjoy life, like so many ways to count on Popular.
Plug into Tittle Plus and get even more entertainment with Disney Plus included. The best of Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, and National Geographic all in one place. Whenever you want, plug into Plus to enjoy Disney Plus and much more with a home fiber bundle. Sign up today to Tittle Plus.